In the heart of the golden savanna, nestled between the baobab trees, lay the great village. It was a place of laughter, hard work, and music. The people lived in harmony, their lives guided by the wise and gentle Chief Adesuwa. The village's greatest treasure was its unity. When the farmers tilled the soil, all hands joined in. When the hunters returned with game, the entire village feasted. The rhythm of their life was kept by the village drum, a great, hollowed-out log played by the cheerful and kind-hearted drummer, Bola. His beats told stories of love, celebration, and warning. But there was another rhythm in the village, a quieter, more sinister one. It was the rhythm of whispered words, passed from one ear to another, growing and changing with each telling. This was the work of a young man named Jabari. Quick with a smile but faster with a secret, Jabari rarely worked in the field or learned a craft. Instead, he found power in knowledge. He would linger near the river where the women washed clothes, or by the fire where the elders told stories, collecting little truths and half-truths. He would then carry these snippets to others, trading them for favors, for a better cut of meat, or simply for the pleasure of seeing the flicker of worry in someone's eyes. The villagers called him the Finch, for like the small bird, he hopped from one person to another, his chirp sounding sweet but often carrying poison. They feared him, for no secret was safe when the Finch was near. One evening, as the sun bled orange into the horizon, a dispute arose. Two brothers, Chijioke and Emeka, who were as close as two roots of the same tree, had a fierce argument over the inheritance of their father's farm. It was a private matter, full of raw emotion and hurtful words spoken in the heat of the moment. They parted in anger, vowing to bring the matter before Chief Adesuwa in the morning. Unbeknownst to them, Jabari the Finch had been resting in the branches of a nearby acacia tree, hidden by the leaves. He heard every angry word. A slow smile spread across his face. This was not just a snippet, this was a feast. He did not go to Chijioke or Emeka. Instead, he went to their wives, then to their friends, and then to the elders who gossiped by the fire. To Chijioke's wife, he said, "Emeka says your husband is lazy and unfit to own even a grain of sand." To Emeka's friend, he whispered, "Chijioke plans to bribe the chief's advisors to sway the judgment." The whisper spread like a bushfire in the dry season. By morning, the entire village was ablaze with the news. The brothers, who had come and were ready to seek a peaceful resolution, found themselves confronted by angry family members and suspicious friends. The private argument had become a public war. The harmony of the great village was shattered, and the first crack had appeared, all because of the whispers of the Finch. Chief Adesuwa saw the division in her people. The farmers no longer helped each other, and the hunters kept their smaller catches for themselves. Suspicion hung in the air like a thick fog. She knew the source of this poison. She called the entire village to the circle under the great baobab. Her face, usually calm, was stern. "My people," she began, her voice echoing in the silence. "A snake has found its way into our home. It does not bite with fangs, but with forked words that turn brother against brother. This gossip, this snitching, is a disease that weakens us from within." She held up a beautiful, intricately woven basket. "From this day forward, any person who brings me a story about another, without witnesses to stand with them, will be given this basket. Their task will be to fetch water from the river to fill the village's water pots." A murmur ran through the crowd. Fetching water with a basket was a fool's errand, a task of endless, futile labor. It was a punishment of shame and exhaustion. Jabari, standing at the back, smirked. He was too clever to be caught. He would simply be more careful. A few days later, the village weaver, a quiet and talented woman named Amina, was working on a magnificent new pattern for a ceremonial cloth for Chief Adesuwa. It was a secret design, meant to be a surprise for the entire village at the next festival. She worked on it only at night, by the light of a small oil lamp in her hut. Jabari, ever curious, saw the light and peered through a crack in her wall. He saw the stunning cloth. But he also saw Amina accidentally knock over her lamp, spilling a small amount of oil that stained the corner of the cloth before she could right it. In a panic, she quickly dabbed at it and hid the cloth, planning to fix the flaw in the morning. Jabari saw his opportunity. Here was a secret, and a failure. He went straight to Chief Adesuwa. "Wise chief," he said, bowing low. "I bring you concerning news. The weaver, Amina, has ruined your ceremonial cloth." She has been careless and has stained it with oil. She hides it from you, disrespecting your office." Remembering her own decree, the chief asked, "Did anyone see this happen, Jabari? Will a witness stand with you?" Jabari was silent. He had none. Chief Adesuwa nodded solemnly. She handed him the beautifully woven basket. "Then you know your task, Jabari the Finch. You will fetch water for the village until the last pot is full." The villagers watched in stunned silence as the proud Jabari was led to the river. He dipped the basket into the water, but as he lifted it, the water poured out through the gaps. Again and again, he tried, but the basket remained empty. His arms grew tired, and his fine clothes became soaked. The children began to giggle, and the adults shook their heads. The dreaded Snitch had been caught, and his punishment was a lesson for all to see. For 2 days, Jabari labored by the river. His hands grew raw, and his back ached. The basket, for all its beauty, was useless for its assigned task. He grew hungry, thirsty, and humiliated. The villagers went about their work, and though they pitied him, no one helped him, for they all remembered the pain his words had caused. On the 3rd day, as he sat in despair by the riverbank, Chief Adesuwa approached him, followed by Amina the weaver. "Jabari," the chief said softly, "do you understand now the nature of your task? You have been trying to carry water with a basket made of whispers and lies. Just as this basket cannot hold water, a community built on gossip cannot hold trust." Amina stepped forward. In her hands was the ceremonial cloth. She had masterfully incorporated the oil stain into the design, turning it into the eye of a magnificent golden sun. The cloth was more beautiful for its imperfection. "I did spill the oil, Chief," Amina admitted. "And I was afraid. But a flaw is not a ruin. It can become part of a new beauty, if handled with honesty." Jabari looked from the futile basket to the magnificent cloth, and then at the faces of the chief and the weaver, which held not anger, but sorrow and a hope for his understanding. For the first time, he felt the true weight of his actions. It was heavier than any basket of water. He began to weep. "I see now," he whispered. "My words were like this basket. They could carry nothing of value, only create a show of effort that ended in emptiness. I have been trying to fill my own pride with something that could never last." Chief Adesuwa placed a hand on his shoulder. "The task is over, Jabari. The lesson is learned." Jabari stood, a changed man. He returned to the village, not as the Finch, but simply as Jabari. He went to the brothers, Chidiok and Emeka, and in front of the whole village, he confessed to twisting their words. He apologized deeply. The brothers, seeing his genuine remorse, forgave him, and their own reconciliation began. Jabari had a new skill now. He had learned the value of silence and the power of truthful words. He began to work alongside Bola the drummer, not playing the drum, but learning to listen to its true rhythm. He used his sharp ears not for collecting secrets, but for hearing when someone was in need, when a family was struggling, or when a dispute was brewing. He would then quietly help or bring the matter directly to the people involved to solve with honesty, or to Chief Adesuwa with the full truth. The great village found its harmony again, stronger than before. They had learned to guard their tongues and value trust over gossip. And the rhythm of the village drum now carried a new, deeper beat, a beat of forgiveness, understanding, and the hard-earned wisdom that a community's greatest strength is not in the secrets it keeps, but in the trust it holds. And so, the children of the village are told, be careful with your words. Let them be like the solid clay pot, carrying the water of truth and kindness, and never like the basket of the snitch, which carries nothing but air and leaves everyone thirsty.